If you're thinking about canceling your Amex credit card because you're not getting quite enough value out of it, here's exactly what you need to do. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about retention offers, which are these bonuses that Amex will give you if you threaten to cancel your card. So in today's video, we're going to cover the most common questions around retention offers, like why does Amex give them out in the first place, what determines whether or not you get one, and what exactly you need to do. And of course, I'm going to share my personal experience because I've gotten quite a few of these over my past 6 years with Amex. Right, so first things first, what exactly is a retention offer? Well, it's basically a bonus that Amex may give you if you tell them that you're about to cancel your credit card. You can also ask for this proactively, but we are going to talk about it a little bit later on. Most commonly, this bonus takes a form of membership reward points or Avios or whatever other reward currency your card earns. Less common in the UK, it can also be a statement credit, which is basically equivalent to cash, or it can even be something like temporarily boosting the number of points that you earn on your card per every pound spent. And before we talk about the specifics and tactics of how this can benefit you, let's talk about briefly how this benefits Amex. Basically, why do they give out retention offers in the first place? Well, the answer is quite simple. It just saves them money. Let's take the Amex Gold card in order to illustrate this. Amex Gold is basically a card that's free in the first year, but despite that, it's quite generous as it gives you a large welcome bonus, it gives you lounge access, Deliveroo credits, and all of that is completely free in year one. So let's imagine that you sign up for this card, you use it for 1 year, and then you go to Amex and tell them that you want to cancel. That puts them in a position where they have two choices. One is they let you go, and then they have to sign on an entirely new customer to sort of replace you, and that means marketing costs, first of all, which obviously I cannot estimate, but also that means that the new customer, just like you 1 year ago, is gonna enjoy 1 year of free benefits before they even consider paying for the card. Alternatively, Amex can just give you a small carrot in the form of a retention offer of like 10 or 20,000 membership reward points and keep you, the existing customer who is about to start paying. So in that sense, keeping you over acquiring a new customer is a no-brainer. The only problem is, what if you take the retention offer and still cancel the card? Well, I do believe Amex is kind of smart about this, and we are going to talk a little bit about that later on. But for now, let's move on to the things that you need to know in order to benefit from retention offers as much as possible. First of all, what Amex cards can you actually get a retention bonus on? Well, in theory, you can get one on any Amex product because these retention offers are not a published benefit, so the only way to know for sure is to actually ask. But in practice, the Amex Gold and the Amex Platinum are most well known for retention offers. For example, on the Gold card, if you do get an offer, it can be anywhere between 5 and 25,000 points. At least these are the ranges that I'm seeing online. And personally, my retention offers on the Gold card have always ranged between 15 and 20,000 points. And we will talk later on about what exactly determines how much of a bonus you get. On the Platinum card, the numbers are higher because it's a more expensive card in the first place. And what I'm seeing here is between 35,000 to 50,000 points. My retention offers, again, on the Platinum card have consistently been at 35,000 points for the past 3 years. And then on cards like British Airways Premium Plus, for example, the retention offers are becoming increasingly rare. I haven't been able to find any recent data points, but the data points from a few years back are not exactly generous. Personally, I've never managed to get a retention offer on the British Airways Premium Plus, but interestingly enough, I did get one on the free version of it on the British Airways card from American Express. I believe that was back in 2020, and the offer was earning an extra Avios on every pound spent, so a total of 2 Avios per pound for the next 3,000 pounds of spend, I think, which is basically equivalent to 3,000 bonus Avios if I spent 3,000 pounds. So not exactly generous, but again, this was a free card. And that actually brings us nicely into what exactly determines whether or not you get a retention bonus and how large it's going to be. There are no published criteria from Amex here, but we can actually make educated guesses. So first of all, very likely a determining factor is the amount of spend that you put through the card. For example, on the Platinum card, like I mentioned, my retention offers have been consistently at 35,000 points, which seems like on the lower end for this specific card, but that kind of makes sense because I've never used the Amex Platinum card for spending. Instead, I just keep it for the benefits like the lounge access and the dining credit and whatnot. And I have seen people get higher bonuses like 50,000 points, and they did mention that they use the card for day-to-day spending as well. Similarly, on the gold card, which is actually my primary spending card, my retention offers lately have been at 20,000 points, and while that is on the higher end of what I've seen, I do know people who have gotten slightly more of like 25,000 points. I don't remember if there was a 30,000 points, but anyway, those people also had a higher level of spend. And finally, my wife, for instance, who also has a gold card and also got a retention offer of just 5,000 points, but she barely used her card. Now, another factor I suspect is your overall relationship with Amex. Like, is this your first and only card? How long have you been an Amex customer for? Because if this is your first card and you've just gotten it like a year ago, then by giving you a retention offer, Amex risks that you'll take that offer and you'll just run away with it. And that's not exactly the outcome that they're hoping for. And for cases like this, to mitigate that risk, they do have certain levers, like they can put conditions on your retention offer. For example, you need to spend a certain amount of money in the next, say, 3 months in order to trigger the bonus instead of giving you the points right away. For example, that's exactly what my wife had. Her 5,000 points retention offer was contingent on her spending £1,000 in the next 3 months on her Amex Gold card. Another related factor is the other Amex cards that you have and the other retention bonuses that you've gotten recently, because you can certainly get multiple of those on different cards within a year. For example, for the past few years, I've been getting a strong feeling that Amex is trying to cap the total retention bonuses I get across the gold and platinum card at 50k points. And now let's finally talk about what exactly you need to do step by step in order to get the retention bonus, and also the things that you shouldn't do. So step number 1 is to contact Amex support, and whether you do it via the in-app chat or over the phone, I believe it doesn't matter, and I'm going to explain why in the later steps. Step number 2 is to inform them of your intention to cancel the card. Alternatively, you can just be more direct, and if you're after the retention offer, you can just ask for it. This is the approach that I take. I usually go and say that I'm approaching my anniversary with the card and I'm kind of reevaluating whether it's still the right product for me, and I was wondering if there are any retention offers available. So step 3 is, at this point, they're gonna ask you why you are considering canceling your card or why you are reevaluating things. I mean, over the past few years of asking for these retention bonuses many times, I got a strong feeling that the reason you give, at least if the conversation is happening in the in-app chat, it doesn't really matter, as in they don't really read it in a lot of cases. Because, for example, in the past, I would say something like, I'm unhappy with XYZ, and they would respond with something, oh, we're sorry, you are unhappy with ABC, which is completely different and kind of shows that they don't read it. So does it mean that it doesn't matter what you say in response to this question? Well, I don't know for sure, and that is why personally I continue to put a little bit of effort into responding to this question and keeping myself honest as well. And then once you have responded, step number 4 is the agent will check whatever retention offer is available on the system for you, and if there is one, they're going to communicate the conditions of that offer. At this point, I don't know for sure, but I strongly believe that there is no point in negotiating the offer, because the agent, it seems like, has zero control over it. It's whatever the system has thrown up for your account based on the criteria that we discussed earlier, and plus possibly some other criteria that we don't know about. And finally, as step number 5, you either accept or reject the offer. And here the interesting question is, what happens if you just accept the offer, you get the points, and then you go and still cancel the card? Well, as I said earlier, Amex can kind of protect against it by putting additional conditions on the offer, like minimum spend. And this one I'm purely speculating about. I suspect that it could affect your future ability to get retention offers. Like, maybe one of the other factors that the computer system considers is whether or not you have behaved like this in the past. Like, for example, it says, oh, like, look at this guy. He got a big fat retention offer from us like a year ago. He took the points and then he turned around and still canceled the card. So no more retention for him or her. Again, to be fair, I'm completely speculating here, but I would not be surprised if this was indeed a factor. And yeah, one more critical thing, actually probably one of the most useful things I will have said in this video, is that when you're asking for the retention offer, your timing is kind of key. And I've seen that in my personal experience just recently. Basically, at the end of 2024, which is my usual time to ask for a retention offer on the Platinum card, I went in and I talked to the Amex Platinum support over chat around like 2 weeks before my card was due to renewal, and they just told me there are no retention offers. I did not expect that because usually every year I would get a retention offer and I'm kind of now used to it. While I understand it's not guaranteed, but I was a little bit early. Like, it was the first time I asked for an offer a whole 2 weeks before my renewal, and the agent themselves actually encouraged me to come back and check later in case something else comes up. And then I waited until like a couple of days, I think, before my renewal date. I went again, I asked, and there you go. There was the standard 35,000 points offer available on my account. So the moral of this story is the offers likely get generated close to your renewal date, which means if you ask too early, you may not get an offer at all, but do not get discouraged. And it's best to check as close as possible to your renewal date, or you can even do it after the renewal date because the annual fee is refundable in case you don't get an offer and decide to cancel the card. And another obvious conclusion out of this is that you will not get more than one retention offer per card per year. And yeah, let me know in the comments what your experience was with retention offers. I would be also very curious to learn about any retention amounts beyond or below the ranges that I mentioned here for the cards, or for retention offers that are not on the Platinum or Gold card, because there isn't a lot of data about this overall. And by the way, if you want to learn more about the Amex Gold card, which is probably the most popular reward card in the UK, click on this video here. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.